a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. 2018 Asian Games. The 2018 Asian Games, officially known as the 18th Asian Games and also known as Jakarta Palembang 2018, was a Pan-Asian multi-sport event held from 18 August to the 2nd of September 2018 in the Indonesian cities of Jakarta and Palembang. For the first time, the Asian Games were co-hosted in two cities: the Indonesian capital of Jakarta and Palembang, the capital of the South Sumatra province. Events were held in and around the two cities, including venues in Bandung and some places in the provinces of West Java and Banten. The opening and closing ceremonies of the Games were held at Gelora Bung Karno main stadium in Jakarta. Also for the first time, eSports and canoe polo were contested as demonstration sports. China led the medal tally for the 10th consecutive time. North Korea and South Korea march under the Korean Unification Flag at the opening ceremony, and for the first time competed as a unified team in some events. They also won one, and first, gold medal as a unified team. Japanese swimmer Rika Koike was announced as the most valuable player of the Games. There were 6 world, 18 Asian and 86 Asian Games records broken during the Games. Bidding process. The Olympic Council of Asia originally planned to hold these Games in 2019 rather than 2018, so that Asian Games would be held in a year immediately before the 2020 Summer Olympics instead of 2 years before. After they were awarded to Indonesia, the OCA backtracked on these plans and kept the Games in 2018, so that they will not interfere with the 2019 Indonesian general elections. Initial bidding. Hanoi, Vietnam was originally selected to be the host after they won the bid against 2 other candidates, Surabaya and Dubai. They were awarded the winning bid on the 8th of November 2012, with 29 votes against Surabaya's 14 votes. Dubai pulled out at the last minute, instead announcing their intention to focus on future bids. The UAE's National Olympic Committee's vice president denied any pullout and claimed that Dubai did not apply for hosting 2019 Asian Games and had only considered doing so. However, in March 2014, there were some concerns about Vietnam's ability to host. These included concerns over whether the anticipated budget of $150 million was realistic. There were claims that the government would eventually spend over $300 million. In addition, critics were concerned that several stadiums built in conjunction with 2003 Southeast Asian Games had not been utilized since. Former chairman of the Vietnam Olympic Committee Ha Quang Do also claimed that hosting the Asian Games would not boost tourism in Vietnam. On the 17th of April 2014, the Vietnamese Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Duong officially announced Hanoi withdrawal from hosting, citing unpreparedness and economic recession as the main reasons for the withdrawal, saying, "They have left the country unable to afford the construction of facilities and venues." Many Vietnamese people supported the decision to withdraw. No penalty was imposed for the withdrawal. Appointment of Jakarta and Palembang. After Hanoi withdrawal, the OCA said that Indonesia, China, and the United Arab Emirates were major candidates under consideration to host. Indonesia was widely regarded as a favorite, since Surabaya was the runner-up of the previous bid, and willing to do so if selected. The Philippines and India expressed their interest about hosting the Games, but India failed to submit a late bid because it was unable to get an audience with Prime Minister Narendra Modi after being given an extended deadline by the OCA. On the 5th of May 2014, the OCA visited some Indonesian cities including Jakarta, Surabaya, Bandung, and Palembang. At this time Surabaya decided to drop their bid to host the Games and instead focus on hosting the already scheduled 2021 Asian Youth Games. On the 25th of July 2014, during a meeting in Kuwait City, the OCA appointed Jakarta as the host of the Games with Palembang as the supporting host. Jakarta was chosen because of its well-equipped sports facilities, adequate transportation networks, and other facilities such as hotels and lodgings for guests. On the 20th of September 2014, Indonesia signed the host city contract, and during the closing ceremony of 2014 Asian Games in Incheon. Indonesia was appointed symbolically by the OCA to host the next Games. Costs. By 2015, the central government had allocated a budget of 3 trillion Indonesian rupiahs to prepare for the Games, with regional administrations also expected to supply some part of the funding. By July 2018, the budget allocation for the Games had been reported to be 6.6 trillion Indonesian rupiahs, including 869 billion Indonesian rupiahs from sponsorships. However, on the 2nd of September 2018, Finance Minister of Indonesia disclosed that 8.2 trillion Indonesian rupiahs was financed by 2015-2018 state budget, which was used by Anasgok for all preparation, opening, organizing, and finalizing the implementation of the 2018 Asian Games. The total cost for arranging the Games is estimated about $3.2 billion, of which $2.4 billion being spent on infrastructure development associated with the Games. Branding and design. The initial logo for the 2018 Asian Games was first unveiled on the 9th of September 2015, in celebration of the country's National Sports Day. The emblem featured a stylized depiction of a cendrawasih, a rare species of a bird in Indonesia. On the 27th of December 2015, the initial mascot named Drawa was unveiled by Indonesian Vice President Yusuf Kalla. The inspiration for the mascot was the same with the logo. Organizers withdrew both designs soon after amid heavy criticism for the logo's outdated appearance. The mascot was also criticized for having little connection to Indonesian culture and history. An open call for a new design was held, resulting in 60 submissions. The final design was unveiled on the 28th of July 2016 in a press conference. Titled Energy of Asia, the emblem was modeled upon the Games' main stadium, the Gelora Bung Karno main stadium, and was intended to symbolize unity among Asian countries. On the same press conference, 3 new mascots were also unveiled. They were Binbin, a greater bird of paradise, Atung, a Bornean deer, and Kaka, a Javan rhinoceros. They represent the eastern, central, and western regions of Indonesia and also strategy, speed and strength respectively. Each mascots also wear different clothes. Binbin wears a vest with a smart pattern details, Atung wears a sarong with batik tumpul pattern, and Kaka wears a Palembang songket with flower pattern. All 3 mascots are named after the official national motto of Indonesia, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. Both the new emblem and mascots were designed by Feet Studio in Indonesia. In July 2018, Indonesia Asian Games Organizing Committee released the medal design to the public, featuring the Asian Games logo and the batik style of all Indonesian regions, reflects the cultural diversity of Indonesia and their unity. In addition to cultural diversity, batik motifs also reflect the diversity of ethnic, religious, and racial Asian communities who participated in the 18th Asian Games. Marketing and promotion. On the 18th of August 2017, simultaneous events were held at Jakarta's National Monument and Palembang's Benteng Kuto Bazak to mark the 1-year milestone before the Games. The event in Jakarta was attended by President Joko Widodo and featured performances by Taeyeon and Kim Hyo-yeon of K-pop group Girls' Generation. Countdown clocks were unveiled at the Salamat Datang Monument and in front of Gelora Sriwijaya Stadium. Several fun run events had been held in some Asian countries since December 2017, starting with Lahore, Pakistan, which was the first city to organize the fun run event. On May 2018, an event marking 100-day milestone before the Games was held, featuring the introduction of Asian Games torch. The torch design is inspired by traditional weapons named Golok from Jakarta and Skin from Palembang, South Sumatra. Official songs. On the 13th of July 2018, the Indonesia Asian Games Organizing Committee released an official music album of the 2018 Asian Games titled Energy of Asia, official album of Asian Games 2018. The album consists of 13 songs and involves several cross-genre musical artists. Torch Relay. The torch relay began at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi, host of the first Asian Games, on the 15th of July 2018. The flame was generated from a parabolic mirror directed straight at the sun. On the 18th of July 2018, a ceremony took place in Brahma Field by the 9th century Hindu temple of Prambanan near Yogyakarta, where the torches flame from India were fused together with an Indonesian natural eternal flame taken from Nurupan, Central Java. Subsequently, the torch relay concert were performed, marking the start of torch relay throughout the country. The relay traveled through 54 cities in 18 provinces in Indonesia, including host cities. The relay covered a total distance of 18,000 kilometers. The relay finished on the 17th of August, the 73rd anniversary of the proclamation of Indonesian independence in the National Monument, Jakarta, before being carried into the opening ceremony at Gelora Bung Karno Stadium the next day. Venues. For the Games, some venues were built, some were renovated, and prepared across 4 provinces in Indonesia: Jakarta, South Sumatra, Banten, and West Java. The facilities for the Asian Games 2018 were located in the capital city of Jakarta and Palembang, in 4 different sports clusters. However, 15 arenas for matches and 11 training arenas in West Java and Banten, which shares border with Jakarta, were also used to support the Games. In total, there were 80 venues for competitions and training prepared. The organization hopes to keep the cost down by using the existing sports facilities and infrastructure, including those venues built for the 2011 Southeast Asian Games. And after the test event of the 2018 Asian Games in February, Inazgok moved several sports that will be held in Jakarta International Expo to Jakarta Convention Center. Jakarta. Gelora Bung Karno Sports Complex in Jakarta alone hosted 13 sports after renovation. The 55-year-old main stadium's capacity was reduced from around 88,000 to 77,193. A facial recognition system was installed at the stadium in anticipation of terror threats. The Jakarta International Velodrome at Rawamangun in East Jakarta was rebuilt, at a cost of $40 million for cycling, badminton, futsal, basketball, and wrestling. An equestrian facility was renovated at Pulomas with a cost of $30.8 million, which could host up to 1,000 spectators. It was equipped with 100 stables, athletes' lodging, an animal hospital, training places, and a parking area on a 35-hectare plot of land. Palembang. Jakarta Sports City Complex at Palembang hosted for other sports events. Several plans were raised to add and improve the facilities in the complex, including a capacity upgrade of Gelora Sriwijaya Stadium from 36,000 to 60,000 seats. This was cancelled later, and instead the capacity was decreased to 23,000 after the installment of individual seats to the entire stadium, concrete tribunes along with pitch and other facilities improvements in the stadium. The new venue in Jakarta Sports City was a 40-lane bowling alley which was completed in late May 2018. 8 additional tennis courts was built in the complex for the Games. The length of canoeing and rowing venue in Jakarta Lake was extended to 2,300 meters along with rowing facilities and a tribune which was built on the lakeshore. Other existing venues which was used for Games were also renovated, including Ranau Sports Hall as separate takraw venue. Athletes Village. Athletes Village in Jakarta was built at Kemarin on an area of 10 hectares land, which had 7,424 apartments in 10 towers. Total accommodation capacity of 22,272 at the village exceeded International Olympic Committee standards, which require Olympics hosts to provide rooms for at least 14,000 athletes. The Athletes Village inside the Jakarta Sports City at Palembang housed 3,000 athletes and officials. Transport. As part of the Games preparation, the construction of the Jakarta MRT and Jakarta LRT was accelerated, though neither were ready for general commercial operation at the time of the opening ceremonies. A line of Jakarta LRT connected the Athletes Village at Kemarin in central Jakarta to the Velodrome at Rawamangun in East Jakarta. City bus operator Transjakarta added 416 buses to serve the officials, and also provide free rides on selected days during the Games. Palembang upgraded their transportation facilities ahead for the Games by building 25 kilometers of the Palembang light rail transit from Sultan Mahmud Badarudin II International Airport to Jakarta Sports City, which opened for public use in July 2018. Sultan Mahmud Badarudin II International Airport is expanding its existing arrival and departure terminals to increase its capacity, and also connecting the airport with the light rail transit terminal by building a sky bridge. Other transportation facilities such as toll roads, flyovers, and bridges will be also built in and around the city. Opening ceremony. The opening ceremony started at 1900 hours Western Indonesian time on Saturday, the 18th of August 2018. Wisnu Tama, CEO of Indonesian TV network NET, was the creative director for the ceremony. The ceremony stage showcased a towering 26-meter-high mountain with a waterfall as its background, accompanied by Indonesian plants and flowers. North and South Korea delegates marched together under one unified flag of Korea, which marked the first time both countries did so in the Asian Games after 12 years. The Games was officially opened by the President of Indonesia, Joko Widodo. Sports. In March 2017, the Olympic Council of Asia initially announced that the Games would feature 484 events in 42 sports, including the 28 permanent Olympic sports contested at the 2016 Summer Olympics. The 5 additional sports that will be contested at the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, as well as events in other non-Olympic sports. In April 2017, the OCA approved reductions in the program in response to cost concerns. Belt wrestling, cricket, squash, skateboarding, sambo, and surfing were dropped from the program, and there was to be a reduced number of competitions in bridge, jet ski, jiu-jitsu, paragliding, sport climbing, taekwondo, and wushu. These changes reduced the total number of events to 431. The final program was unveiled in September 2017, increasing it to 465 events in 40 disciplines as the second-largest program in Asian Games history. Additional disciplines being introduced at the 2020 Summer Olympics were also added, including 3x3 basketball and BMX freestyle. For the first time in Asian Games history, eSports and canoe polo were contested as demonstration sports in the Games. 6 video game titles, most notably Pro Evolution Soccer 2018, were featured in the eSports events. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like